You know, I've been watching wrestling for a little over 16 years now. Mostly gone back through past stuff. And I think we can all agree, based on seeing social media, and I know I've covered social media in a past episode of the podcast, that we've got a lot of vocal fans within the wrestling community. Especially ones that are very quick to change their minds on what they want. A lot of times you see wrestling fans say they want somebody pushed, and as soon as somebody gets pushed, they don't want it anymore. Because then all of a sudden they start coming up with excuses saying their character sucks, they're not believable, they're overrated. Even though, literally a month prior, they had a completely different tune. It's like fans are very quick to just get bored with something. Maybe even just for the slightest little thing. It gets to the point where I still stand by what I say, saying that WWE should not listen to the internet fans and push who they freaking scream that the WWE should push. Because it's guaranteed that the wrestling fans are going to get bored of whoever they push at one point or another. Because fans do not like anything for too long. In fact, I want to quickly read a quote because I just found this on the Forbes website from an article from about February 2020. Seth Rollins, on an episode of Raw in 2019, was headed for a WrestleMania clash with Lesnar. Rollins' message to McIntyre was simple. No matter how good you are, WWE fans are going to turn on you at some point. Okay, I believe that may have been a promo for last year because of Drew going for the WWE Championship, but that sentence is still very relevant to this day. And in fact, Corey Graves even touched on the reality for his podcast called After the Bell. And let me read what it says here, because this is still very relevant even from somebody from within the business. This is historically a common occurrence in WWE. When someone reaches megastar status, as Becky Lynch has over the past year plus, people tire of them. Look no further than John Cena, then Roman Reigns, more recently Ronda Rousey, who was beloved when she arrived in WWE, but when the time WrestleMania came around, even before that, the WWE Universe was tired of the baddest woman on the planet. And this other guy that draws a pretty clear parallel, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins last year at WrestleMania, no one could wait for him to beat Brock Lesnar. Seth beat him, becomes the guy, and everyone goes, yeah, what else you got? And that is very true, because you see guys that people give a huge vocal reaction for, but then not too long after they achieve the goal, fans are against them all of a sudden with barely any reason nowadays. Let me give you 5 examples. The most recent one, Drew McIntyre. Last year, everybody at the Royal Rumble was clamoring. Everybody was ecstatic when he eliminated Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, became WWE Champion. But then by the time this year came around, fans started to get tired of him already, even though he's only been at the main event level for a year. A spot he never really got during his last WWE run from 2009, I believe, until 2014. So already fans are just tired of Drew McIntyre for whatever reason. You look at Kofi Kingston in 2019. They built up the big story where he was getting screwed out of getting a WWE title shot, and fans were clamoring for him to finally get his shot. Be the first ever 100% African American WWE champion. He finally becomes champion, overcoming the odds. But then during his title reign, people are already against him. Most people saying, oh, he's still too goofy and everything. He's still got his whole New Day gimmick. But I still stand by that because in storyline, it makes sense to stick with that gimmick due to the fact that his New Day brethren got him a title shot in storyline. So it makes sense to still go with that. And plus, also, right around that time, they released the new New Day t-shirt where Kofi has the WWE Championship over his shoulder, so it made sense still to keep that going when you had that new t-shirt revealed. You look at John Cena 2005. This was an amazing one. WrestleMania 21, he won the WWE Championship. He was on SmackDown. Then a couple months later, he comes over to Raw, and shortly thereafter, he's suddenly getting a mixed reaction. Now, I don't buy this whole thing of people saying, oh, his character's stale and everything, because at this point, it's hard to really describe if he had a character after this, but it's like he started to phase away out the Dr. Thugonomics gimmick. He still had some elements there, but he's starting to get that out of his character overall. But yet, by the time he came to Raw, people already started to get tired of him so fast, despite now being a new main event talent. You look at Seth Rollins 2019, as mentioned a bit ago. People couldn't wait for him to become WWE Champion. He Universal Champion, beats Brock for the title at WrestleMania, and then by the time they get to around summer, a few months later, when he was about to have another match with Brock, people are like, no, boo, no. It's just like, it was that fast. In the course of a few months, people didn't want to see him in that spot anymore. You look at 2018, I also just mentioned with Ronda Rousey. By WrestleMania 34, people couldn't wait to see her. She's there, brand new. She's dominating the women. But then as the year went on, you even listened to Survivor Series after Charlotte got DQ'd and beat up freaking Ronda. People were glad that she was doing that. Which is absolutely insane. It's like it's not like Ronda had a long extended run where she was just doing the same thing day after day after day for years on end. Less than a year into her career, and all of a sudden people are booing her. The next thing you know, it whole inspires a whole heel turn saying, screw the woo, damn the man, no more Mrs. Nice Bitch, or whatever the fuck she said. You listen to this stuff and it's like, do wrestling fans really know what they want? Because first they're hot about something, they're clamoring for something, they get what they want, but then not too long afterwards, they don't want it anymore. It reminds me of that scene, and I know I posted this on Twitter. It was that scene from The Fairly Odd Parents. I believe it was somewhere in season 3. It was that episode where Mark Chang came to Earth and because there were like these cute bunnies or whatever invading his planet. Well, right before Mark Chang came back to Earth, Timmy Turner was holding on a teddy bear and he was lusting over it like, oh, it's so cute. And then a moment later he's like, hey, now I don't care. It's like it's that fast with wrestling fans. One moment they want something and then they're all of a sudden out of nowhere, they're just tired of it. That fast. Wrestling fans have a worse attention span than I do, and I'm somebody with attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So that is saying something when you've got a worse attention span / interest in something compared to somebody with ADHD. It's like wrestling fans, like they want a storyline going, but it's like if they don't get everything as soon as possible, they get pissed. Somebody they like gets pushed, then they don't want it anymore. Everything has to be rushed. Everything has to be exactly how they want it. They can't be patient or anything, see anything through. Can't see a storyline or any kind of feud go through without them quickly getting bored of it and saying, give us something else. Because again, it's almost like an extreme form of ADHD that y'all have all of a sudden. It's like you can't have everything exactly how you want. You can't expect WWE to give you exactly what you want at every single point. And you can't have everything rushed. You can't expect somebody to go from NXT to suddenly being a WWE or Universal Champion ASAP or win every match and bowl over everybody as soon as they come to the main roster. You have to give stuff time. You have to let stuff develop. Not everybody can get pushed. Not everybody can be booked exactly the way you want. And you can't give WWE shit for not giving you everything that you want in an exact formula, saying, I want this to happen at A, B, C, and D, and then get pissed if B takes a slight, in your formula, takes a slight detour. You have to let things progress. You can't keep constantly telling WWE what you want and then changing your mind. You know, it's like when you take a kid to a candy store or something, saying like, oh, I want a candy cane. You give the kid a candy cane. No, I want M&Ms. And like you give him M&Ms. No, now I want Skittles. Like not making up his mind what kind of candy he wants or anything. It's just a constant change. It's like you want everything right then and there, but then when you get what you want in your hands, you don't want it anymore for whatever reason. It's like fans aren't satisfied with anything they get in WWE, which is baffling. This is why WWE should not listen to fans. Because as soon as you give the fans one thing that they want, they suddenly want something else. It's like, ooh, shiny new toy, gimme, I want this now instead. Fuck what you just gave me. It's almost, or it's even like with a kid at Christmas. You give him something that he wants, like for Christmas, something he's been pining for, and all of a sudden he gets a little something extra on the side, and instead of focusing on this thing he's been dying for, he focuses on this brand new little toy. It's like, oh yeah, you got me a big bike! Then all of a sudden it's like, ooh, a shiny tin thermos or some shit like that. I like this better. Like you pine for something, you get what you want, but instead you want something else so fast. You can't expect WWE to give you everything that you want as soon as possible and then suddenly shit all over something out of nowhere. Because fans need to learn to accept that something's going to happen and things have to progress. You can't have everything you want exactly right when you want it. Things have to progress. You have to accept that things are the way they are and you have to let things change as time goes on. Not everybody's going to be a main eventer the moment that you want it, and even if they do, you're going to be tired of it because then you're going to come up with some excuse to why you don't want them to be in the main event spot anymore. Picking apart their gimmick, saying they can't cut a promo, saying they suck in the ring, they're overrated, they're not believable, or any of that shit. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Let things happen the way they happen. So anyway, let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. What do you think of the wrestling fans that can't make up their minds what they want? And are you one of those fans? If so, please make up your mind what you want. Because you can't have everything. It's not Burger King. You can't have it your way. You have to be able to work around with what you get. So let me know what you guys thought in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed this episode, leave a like, comment, subscribe, bell turned on, and I'll catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. Good day, everybody.